Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man. So shouts out to Boxing News 24/7. Just read an article on their website that the IBF has set up a purse bid for April 10th between Dominic Brazil and Pulev. All right, so earlier this month, they set the final eliminator for the IBF, Pulev versus Brazil. Uh, both teams could not come to an agreement for a fight, so now we have this purse bid. If they can come to an agreement, then the purse bid will be canceled. All right, but let's go to the IBF rankings really quick. If you look at their rankings, Pulev is number 2. The number 1 is not rated. 3, Jarrell Miller. 4, Dillian White. 5, Povetkin. 6, Dominic Brazil. All right, so let's just focus on this really quick. Now, some of you may think, hey, man, the most logical thing should have been Pulev versus Miller. Have those guys fight for the mandatory spot. Miller right now is in a position, man, where he may just get a shot at Anthony Joshua. Now, Joshua has to get past Joseph Parker first, all right? Hearn has made it clear that Jarrell Miller is a strong possibility if Joshua was to get past Parker to have that fight in America at the Barclays against Jarrell Miller. Miller is doing business with Eddie Hearn, so that is that's very possible that that fight can happen. All right, so Miller just may get a shot just on a voluntary defense, So then you got Dillian White, number 4, who is rated number 1 by the WBC right now. So he's in a pretty good spot, although he did not get picked for the Eliminator. But let's say Brazil doesn't take this opportunity. Maybe they ask Dillian White if he wants to fight Pulev for the mandatory. Then you got Povetkin at number 5. Povetkin's in a good situation right now. He has the fights coming up with Price, but he is rated number 1 by the WBO and the WBA. So in his situation, he's already, the top rated guy for 2 of the titles that it's all, that's one's held by Parker as of right now, and one's held by Anthony Joshua as of right now. So he's in a good situation for 2 different sanctioning bodies. All right, then you got Breazeale, who is number 6. Brazil's rated number 2 by the WBC, and if I had to guess, I'm thinking Deontay Wilder is going to fight either Dominic Brazil or Dillian White in his next fight. That's just my guess. So who knows if he even takes this opportunity. I guess we'll see. I'm not sure if he'll take it or not. Because, I follow Dominic Brazil on Instagram, man, and he he is just all about wanting to fight Deontay Wilder. If you look here, this was from 2 weeks ago on this one, where he says, at Deontay Wilder, at Browns Bomber, let's get this fight scheduled. Quit bullshitting already. I'm your mandatory, and you know damn well you're not fighting Anthony Joshua next. Man up, punk. You ugly SOB, okay? So he's been leaving messages on Instagram, adding at Deontay Wilder, and I think him and Wilder may happen. I think Wilder's going to fight either Brazil or Dillian White next. All right, so he may not even take this opportunity to fight Pulev, but the IBF did order it. So let's just say the fight does happen. Let's just break down the styles for the hell of it, okay? Pulev, one thing I will say, man, this is his record right here. Over the last few years, man, he really hasn't fought anybody of note. He fought an old Kevin Johnson, 2016 version of Samuel Peter. He did have a good fight for that vacant EBU title against Derek Chisora. He beat Maurice Harris. Maurice Harris is is a tough journeyman type of fighter. And George Arias from Brazil, who is a tougher journeyman type of guy. All right. He had to fight with Klitschko. He ended up getting knocked out in that fight. Now, during his run in 2012, 13, leading up to the Klitschko fight, he beat Ustinov. He beat Dimitrenko, beat Tony Thompson, even had to win over Joey Bell. He beat Ivica Perkovic, who was, journeyman level fighter. Then he fought Klitschko. The Klitschko fight, he able to land some good jabs in that fight. I thought he was holding his own in the jabbing contest against Klitschko. So when he fights bigger fighters besides Klitschko, he has dominated those guys. Tony Thompson, Ustinov, and Dimitrenko. He's able to get that jab off. And if Brazil were to sit there and try to posture and have a jabbing contest, Ustinov would, not Ustinov, but Pulev would school him, in my opinion, if he were to do that. But we know Brazil's not going to do that. He's going to try to come forward, walk through the jab, walk through the jab, and try to just make a fight out of it. And if he does that, if these guys are to fight, I think he has a good chance of landing some leather on Pulev and possibly hurting him and stop him. But if Pulev can hold and clinch effectively, use his jab, you know, posture and feint, and get Breazeale out of his rhythm and get him out of place a little bit so he can find a home for his right hand and, you know, triple up the jab and double up the jab, hold on the inside effectively, Pulev could win this fight. All right. But Dominic Brazil is a big dude that likes to come forward. He's going to fight a whole different fight than Dimitrenko. He's not going to get walked down with jabs. He's going to be more active than Tony Thompson. He's quicker and he's more agile than Ustinov. Although Ustinov's a big dude, Dominic Brazil is also a big guy, but he likes to throw leather, and I think he's more athletic than Ustinov. All right. The Chisora win, I think, is his last good win, Pulev. The Peter and Johnson fight pretty much just stay busy fights, in my opinion, man. We know that Pulev had an opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua. He pulled out of that fight, citing an injury. Some fans didn't believe it. Some fans did believe him. But it just seems as if whenever it came to AJ, Pulev always had some type of excuse, in my opinion. Even after he won that vacant EBU title, I remember in 2016, going into later that year, after he won the EBU title, I remember that's when Joshua and his team and Hearn, those guys, wanted to fight Pulev. They were putting him out there to fight. And then Pulev didn't want to fight in 2016. He was saying, no, I want to go the EBU route. You guys remember that? He said he wanted to go the EBU route, defend his title. Then he vacated the title. You know what I mean? And then so fast forward to 2017, they were trying to get him to fight. Pulev or Klitschko ends up retiring. So enter Pulev. Fight schedule, we think it's going to happen. He pulls out, citing an injury. And then enter Carlos Takam. All right. So it just seems as if whether he wanted to go the EBU route or it was an injury or whatever it is, it just never seemed like Pulev really wanted to fight Anthony Joshua, in my opinion. All right. You look at Dominic Brazil over the last few years, Eric Molina fight, last November 2017, the Israel Gono fight. Really damn good fight. The beginning of 2017. Then he had the loss to Anthony Joshua, 2016, Amir Mansour, a fight where he hit the canvas, but he did outlast Mansour. And that was a pretty good fight, man. Although, man, I thought Mansour was winning that fight up until, you know, Dominic Brazil was able to make him quit. Mansour got cut in his tongue. Started swallowing blood. And I think Brazil was just the size, and he was I thought he was starting to come on late in that, or during the middle of that fight, rather. You know what I mean? So whether you want to say that Mansour quit in his corner because he couldn't breathe or whatever it was Dominic Brazil that caused it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like Mansour just in there. You know, Brazil caused the shit, man. So got to give Brazil credit for that. Fred Cassie fight. I thought Cassie actually beat Brazil in that fight. All right. The Consuerga fight. Brazil did his thing in that fight. Remember, that fight was on PBC, two undefeated prospects at the time going at it. So on and so forth, all right? Nagy Aguilera fight. Remember that, watching that fight. But Leroy Thomas, he ended up stopping him. You know, so who do you guys think will win this fight between Brazil and Pulev? Technically, I think Pulev's a better fighter. I think he has more technical ability, but he is an upright fighter. He is there to get hit with some right hands, but Brazil is there to be hit as well. You know what I mean? And he doesn't run away from a fight. I do think it's a fight where Pulev could win some early rounds, and then as the fight starts to heat up and the pressure and Brazil starts to walk forward and eat some of those jabs and eat some right hands to land some of his shots, I think a fight will eventually break out. And I think Brazil has a good chance of beating Pulev as the 2018 version of him. I think he has a good chance of beating him, man. So, But we'll see what Dominic Brazil decides to do. I think if that Wilder fight presents himself, I don't think he'll even waste his time fighting in a title eliminator when you can get a title shot right there. You know, so I guess we'll see how all this goes, man. I will leave the article in the comment section for you. You can click it, read it, come to your own surmise. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm gone.